of introverts. If you haven't, an introvert is defined as a person who's predominantly concerned with their own thoughts and feelings rather than with external things. Introverts are drained by big social events and socializing in big groups, and prefer to talk in small groups or have one-on-one interactions. They get re-energized by spending time alone and think about things before making a decision. Introverts also typically don't like small talk. They'd rather move to a deeper subject after trying to sustain it. Introverts are also introspective. They can think and get lost in their own thoughts because of this, and they kind of forget the real world. So don't worry if an introvert you see, starts staring into space. No, you probably think that introverts are these quiet, shy, and meek people, but that's not true. While some introverts are shy and quiet and such, there are plenty of introverts who can speak up and say what's on their mind. Another common misconception may be that introverts are stuck up, but they aren't. They just can't hold light conversation and would rather have deep intellectual ones about the source of the universe and the future of the human race. Friendships between introverts are typically pretty chill. Introverts crave deep emotional connections with a smaller group of people that satisfy their friendship needs. Most of the time, introverts will either be quietly enjoying each other's presence or talking about philosophical topics. These friendships are very dear to introverts because an introvert's friend group is usually composed of few people, but with which the introvert has deep emotional bond. It is also dear to the introvert because it's challenging to find others who understand what it's like to be introverted. Another benefit of these friendships is that both parties are aware of the other's feelings and behaviors because they have the same ones. There are those, however, who don't have the same feelings and behaviors, extroverts. An extrovert is defined as an outgoing, overtly expressive person, meaning that they don't try to hide their emotions. For extroverts, social engagement is refreshing and energizing. Extroverts like to solve problems by discussing them with others, do before thinking, and feel easily bored and restless when spending time by themselves. Extroverts are the life of the party. These are the people who typically talk to others with ease and don't usually mind being the center of attention. They are the social butterflies. There aren't many misconceptions about extroverts because society sees extroversion as the norm. Introverts are seen as weird hermits who rarely leave the house, while extroverts are seen as what people should be, outgoing, sociable, and friendly. Friendships between extroverts are super common because extroverts are the ones who go out to parties and stuff. Extroverts love meeting new people and frequently have a large friend group. They might not crave those deep emotional connections like introverts, but they definitely aren't exempt from having those kinds of friendships. Extrovert friendships are the one where you can make plans to go out to a restaurant or some other stimulating activity. Friendships between extroverts, like introvert friendships, are nice because both extroverts will have someone to call up when they want to go out. Popular quote is, "Introverts don't make friends, they're adopted by extroverts." In the case of introvert-extrovert friendships, that's pretty close to the truth. Many extroverts like to go out during their free time and will want their introvert friends to come along. The more the merrier, right? Not to the introvert. Sometimes when the extrovert wants to go out, the introvert will be okay with coming along as well. When friends bring me along and I felt like staying home, I'll be happy as a little ghost who just quietly enjoys it. Other times, when the introvert wants to just stay home, the extrovert might just be cool with staying in and watching a movie or reading a book. There has to be some sort of compromise for what you want to do. Being an extrovert or an introvert isn't random. It's part of your brain chemistry. Dopamine, adrenaline, and acetylcholine are three chemicals that are the biggest part of your reward system. The part of your brain that says, "You did a thing that was nice, here's some feel-good chemicals." When you do the thing, it makes you feel good, so you do it again. Then you add adrenaline, which is all about risk-taking and external stimulation, and you get even more dopamine. This is where the first difference is. Extroverts have more dopamine receptors. This means that they need more dopamine to get that reward feeling. So they go out and go do something crazy, like skydiving. For extroverts, dopamine is just too much. Having too much external stimulus, like large social groups, causes the introvert to be overwhelmed and anxious. Acetylcholine, while still giving you that good feeling, doesn't have that jolt of happiness like dopamine. Its effects are most subtle. So when extroverts are out socializing, getting dopamine, introverts are happy just sitting at home reading a book and enjoying their acetylcholine. Keep in mind that introversion and extroversion are just the extremes on a large spectrum. You may feel compelled to choose one, but what if you're neither? The answer is ambiversion. Being an ambivert means that you sometimes have introverted tendencies, and sometimes you have extroverted tendencies. Being ambiverted is a unique experience for every person, so if you aren't exactly like others, that's totally okay. Being ambiverted, I can either feel really social or not want to speak to anyone. It fluctuates, so it just depends on the time of day. Fun fact, the word ambivert was created in the 1920s by combining the Latin ambi, meaning both, and following the pattern of the words extrovert and introvert. Being an ambivert isn't without its struggles. When you're not extroverted or introverted, it may be a challenge to find friends who fit you. Some drift from friend group to friend group over and over, trying to find the right people, but eventually move on again. Others, however, may find people who share things in common and make a lasting bond. I sometimes annoy myself because I crave deep emotional relationships, caused by introversion, with a large group of people, caused by extroversion. Sometimes two aren't always better than one. Okay, time for a quiz. When you can, go to this link and see what your result is. Take it with a grain of salt though, because internet quizzes aren't always right.